Welcome back, everyone, to 1 Minute Recess. It has been a wild ride in Nevada and U.S. politics this week, specifically the last 24 hours. So, Maria, let's get right into it. Come on in. Let's discuss.
Yeah, some stuff's been going on. There's like a shutdown. People are getting really angry at the right people finally. And all of a sudden, womp womp.
Democrats are going to
and it was like, it was, especially for those of us in Nevada and maybe some other states, whose senators are on that list. You were riding a wave of like, yes, they finally have a spy. You wake up every day. We're still in a shutdown. And let me preface this by saying, shutdowns are bad. We all know that. We can all agree with that. But hey, the alternative of what the Republicans want is worse. And you can argue, no, it's not. Yes, it is. Because, healthcare, which is what this was about. Like, that is worse because people will die. Like, there is no other way that we can fill the gap of what the Republicans are trying to do, which is put us back to us paying obscenely gross prices for healthcare. That's basically where we're at. And people going bankrupt again for healthcare costs and insurance. And yeah, so you were riding the wave of like, those are the two alternatives. The Democrats are realizing it. We're good, shutdown. But then they caved and you're like, oh no, I hope my senator's not on the list. And then you read Cortez Masto, Rosen, both, not one, which sometimes you can do let's do a 50-50 split so that we're like not totally awful as Nevada senators, but no, both of them caved.
Real fun today having that conversation with one of my national clients, and they were like, so you're senators? And I'm like, yeah. Let's just be truthful about the matter. And I'm not saying this is right or wrong, so don't come for me. I'm just saying what has transpired over the last few weeks. CCM, Catherine Cortez Masto, did not vote for the shutdown and has not voted for the shutdown and has been very consistent on the shutdown that she did not want this. Okay, fine. Then Jackie Rosen voted to shut the government down and has consistently voted to keep the government shut down because the Republicans refused to negotiate with the Democrats in a real way. Then last night, I'm going about my merry business, trying to end my weekend on a high note. And all of a sudden, I'm getting messages that my senators, both of them, are suddenly now going to vote with a other group of Dems to end the government shutdown. So me being me, I'm like, well, let's go see what they negotiated. They must have negotiated something, must have said, something. They must have gotten something. They basically got a pinky promise and some chewed up bubblegum. We pinky swear, no crossies, no fakes, that we're going to let you do a vote on the ACA, on the Affordable Care Act. We pinky promise we'll let you do it.
And the Democrats are like, okay.
One of my dear friends, Julie, may have said today, it's like snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. Now, neither one of us are sitting here saying that people should starve. SNAP should have never been the thing on the table. We should not be starving people during a government shutdown. We've been very consistent on that. I've been working on SNAP for weeks with multiple clients of mine. We still need the Nevada legislature to act. We will talk about that in a moment because SNAP is still going to be a thing down the road. The SNAP benefits are only now approved until September 2026, assuming this government opens back up. And then, on top of all that, that SNAP was in Project 2025. We talked about that on a previous podcast. This issue is not going away. This was just a test run for the Republicans to get rid of SNAP. The Democrats literally were finally, like you said, we were winning the messaging on this. Overwhelmingly, Americans were like, yeah, this is the Republicans' fault. Yeah, this is Donald Trump's fault. Yeah, Donald Trump wants to starve people and SNAP is his problem. Like, literally handed us gifts. They were like, here. And what did we do with that? Pinky promises. Which leads me to, and you'll talk about another part of this. I'm gonna keep my comments to one thing and one thing more. Chuck Schumer has no place being the leader of the Democratic Party in the Senate or anywhere, really. He has no ability to lead. And listen, I know some people out there are not fans of Harry Reid either. That's fair. But he ain't no Harry Reid. Because Harry Reid would have at least negotiated something for this nonsense. If you're going to make people go without paychecks and you're going to make people starve, then at least get something out of it, right? You're negotiating on healthcare. Hold the line on healthcare then. Because millions of people are counting on you to hold the line on healthcare. No, we can't even do that. So Chuck Schumer should be fired. It's not enough for people like Bernie Sanders and others to be like, well, he's bad at leading. Okay, take him out then.
Do something about
Then
it.
I'm calling. Literally do something then. Don't just say, oh, it was a very bad night. Yeah, no shit, it was a bad night. Do something then.
Yeah.
Democrats, take him out.
Yeah.
And then you got Hakeem Jeffries over in the I was gonna say the assembly because that's where my mind is at. in the House, being like, oh well, I don't support this. It doesn't matter what you support. Your friends in the Senate fucked you. So long story short, I have a lot of pent up rage and emotion on a lot of things right now, but mostly my rage is towards Chuck Schumer. Because I think he is useless. And I've always thought he was useless, and I've been very consistent on this issue. And if the Democrats don't get our heads out of our asses, they're going to continue to lose people because we went from winning in the somewhat midterms last week to literally shitting the bed a week later. It is miraculous to me. It is bang up job, Dems. Bang up job. 2 thumbs up for losing, kids. Bree, I'll kick it back to you for the rest.
Yeah, and while our 2 senators made us look horrific. Yeah, Chuck Schumer, thanks for actually not holding the line. Because it's your job. It's like the leader of a business. Like, it is your job to actually be the one who drives the car and tells us where to go. And we literally got nothing out of it. And say what you will about former Senator R.I.P. Reid, he knew exactly what the Republicans needed, like, every day. And so if there was a deal, there would be something that Democrats got out of it, that Republicans got out of it. Like, it was actually smart, right? Because guy was a boxer, so he knew how to do the rope-a-dope, even if he didn't say anything and wasn't forceful. With Chuck, there's like nothing there. There's just nothing. You're like, I don't see why you're doing this, and then you're going into Fox and Friends. Like, you think this is 3D Star Trek chess? It's not. It's not. You just showed them that you're weak and you don't have a spine.
And this is the quote in Nate Silver. And I take Nate Silver with a grain of salt because anyways. But I thought this quote was poignant today when I was reading it. Trump was starting a feud with congressional Republicans, urging them to nuke the filibuster when leadership was reluctant to do so. So what did the Democrats do with their newfound leverage? Over the weekend, they just gave up.
That is like the Twitter bio of the Democratic Party.
Literally, I was going to say that. Every day, as a political person, as a person who loves politics for whatever stupid reason at this point, I think to myself, why do I still love this shit? Because they're not fighting. They're not fighting very hard. They literally just gave up. Why should I care? Right? And it always goes back to, like, I want to make sure people eat. I want to make sure people have, like, what they need, the basic human things. I want to make sure, like, human decency, all the things like I was raised to do, right? But they just fucking give up every time, every freaking time.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired of it.
When I went to Argentina, I came back and we did an episode where I talked about how, like, many people are wondering, like, especially there, and it is a country that has been through dictatorships, funded by us, but they know exactly what a dictator looks like. And they were all like, well, it lived it. We're saying, you're in one. It doesn't wear a military uniform. It probably wants to, but you're in one. Because all of the things he's doing are all of the things they did here. And it only got worse. And the people that need to fight, from the community to the elected officials, need to understand you are not operating in normal times and you need to have a fucking spine. And so are you going to be the land of the free and the brave? Or are you just going to do politics as usual? So it looks like Chuck Schumer chose the latter. And seriously, every country I go to, people are going, what is happening in the US? Not like the news, but they're wondering why there's not a fight, an actual fight. from Congress. That is mostly where they're looking at it. Like, they're seeing No Kings rallies, they're seeing what people are doing on the streets with ICE, they're seeing what like people are doing to help feed communities, but they're wondering, where is Congress?
You know, during the pandemic, I really felt like, well, nobody's coming to save us, right? And I feel like that again. And in the same article that I was quoting from earlier from Nate Silver, there was another line that really struck me. And I think this is something that I have struggled with for a long time. I struggled with this when we were at our old place of work. I've struggled with the feeding of shit sandwiches and telling us it's just gonna taste good when you know it's doing irreparable harm to our communities, and this being okay with like mediocrity. Well, just eat the shit sandwich and eventually it'll taste better. It's kind of the strategy a lot of times I think the Democrats have. Like, well, if we're just mediocre, then we'll get reelected. Who cares if you're reelected if you're not fucking doing anything and you're not standing for anything? So this is the line. As someone who is supposed to take 3 cross-country flights over the next 7 days, I'm happy that I won't miss my meetings, I guess. But as political strategy, I think this is malpractice. Predictable enough malpractice for a perpetually risk-averse party with a weak, unpopular leader who clearly doesn't have the confidence of his caucus, but malpractice all the same. I think that sums up the Democratic Party and everything that's wrong with it, from the top to the bottom. I was telling somebody today, I swear to God, and I don't just say this as like somebody who, yeah, I'm pretty liberal. You're pretty liberal. But
Yeah. And let me take us back to, the awful year that was 2024.
1 year ago,
Yeah. It's only been a year. Literally right around this time.
literally right around this time, it was about a year ago this week.
When people were wondering, my God, what, for example, the big discussion was, why did so many abortion ballot measures pass, even in Republican states, but Democrats lost? Maybe it's because even then, and for a long, long time, this is why there's always this giant like F you to the Democrats every once in a while, because people realize, oh, you don't have a fucking spine.
And look, we're all for pragmatism, right? Like, I'm cool with if there's a strategy to be a pragmatist. I've done that. You have done that many times in our career where we're like, hey, we're not going to get this, so we should go for this. Even making some of our own friends mad because we're like, well, I'd rather get something than nothing, right? But there's a strategy there. Like, hey, we can get this over the finish line. I'm thinking of minimum wage at this point. We can get this over the finish line and get something for Nevadans instead of nothing, right? I'm all for that. When there's a strategy and we knew that the governor was going to sign that, right? We knew if we did the thing and we held the line, the governor was going to sign it. I'm all for that if there's a strategy. There was no strategy yesterday. There's been no strategy clearly from any of the Democrats in the Senate the entire time.
Yeah,
and that, again,
none.
It's malpractice.
Yeah.
And Americans suffered for nothing.
Exactly. Because guess what? To everybody that says, no, but this was bad and, like, people need to stop suffering. I think
We're still going to be suffering. People are going to be dying.
we're
'cause they
still
don't
going to
know their
suffer.
shit.
That also shows how you're disconnected from reality. People are going to lose that hope all over again. Like, we were actually talking about winning back Congress. I don't know if we're there again.
Here's the other part of this. Let's harken back to the Obamacare days, to the ACA days. When the Democrats, including Senator Reid, said, "Oh, we're going to do the ACA, but we can't do immigration reform because we only have enough political capital for one. So we sacrificed immigration reform for healthcare. And now we're just going to scrap it? We're just going to be like, meh, what?"
And for, the people that were either fetuses or young or not involved in those days, like, that was the big debate about these are the two biggest problems, like two of the biggest problems domestically in this country. And it was really hard to split that baby because the argument was made, guess what? Healthcare also affects immigration affects everyone, but healthcare just is creating such a problem because you're fighting with the insurance companies that you're willing to give that up, that we went through the hard work of splitting that baby of the two issues And now you're just saying, and if that's not where you stand, everyone that voted for this and Chuck Schumer, actually do something about it. But the only thing you could do, the only leverage you did have, was this shutdown and reminding people what was at stake here, because that was the real problem.
I don't know how an everyday person looks at this who's not involved in politics every day and thinks to themselves, well, I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep going to rallies. I'm going to keep voting for Democrats. I'm going to keep doing the things I need to do to hold Trump's feet to the fire when our own party elected officials won't do that for us. And the Democrats wonder, they're bamboozled, they're mystified. Mystified. Why are we losing people? Why is there an enthusiasm gap? Why don't young people want to show up and support us?
This is why. Why did we
Exhibit
lose
A.
every single why did we lose
This is
percentages
it.
in every single demographic?
Hating Trump is not enough, Dems. I'm just going to say it to you.
No.
Shout it from the rooftops. Hating Trump is not enough. You got to be good on the economy. You got to understand what Americans need, what they want. You want to know what they want? They want affordable health care. You want to know what they
Mhm.
want? They want to be able to put food on the table reliably. They want costs to come down. What the fuck are you doing for costs at this point other than making them higher? And again, like you said, okay, we're going to feel a little bit of pain. You know, I was stressing about getting on a plane and I was like, well, I'm going to do what I got to do because that's what we do when we're in a
Mhm.
shutdown. We all have to suffer a little bit, right? Next week, Nick
Mhm.
was going to have to go to Pennsylvania. We were like, okay, how are we going to get you home if you get stranded in Pennsylvania? Right? We'll figure it
Mhm.
out. We'll get in cars, we'll drive, we'll do what we got to do.
Mhm.
I just don't see the same sacrifice from our elected officials. Like, what are they doing? Why don't people support us? Why don't people like the Democrats? Why are the kids not showing up? Well, the kids don't care. No, the kids don't care because you suck.
Yeah.
The kids don't
Literally
care because we're worthless.
sucks to suck. And I took an Uber from the airport over the weekend, and it was with a guy, Latino. He's been here for years, and we were talking about everything. And at one point, as we were getting close to my house, somehow we ended up on the topic of politics, and I was like, "Oh God, no, we're almost
Here we
home.
go.
Don't." Um, and he's actually someone that after he talked, he was like, some people like this, some people like that. He was like, I don't like either. He was like, I did escape communism, so I know I hate that form of government. He goes, I hate both extremes, and he goes, but you know what I have to say? And he has a friend who is Alligator Alcatraz, by the way, like a close friend of his that immigrated with him.
Mm.
And so he's like, I feel really terrible that he's there and I'm not, because we came in the same way. But he said, but I see that people like the president of El Salvador and Trump, they just do things. Like they say they're going to do something and they do it, even if it has bad consequences. Like this is what real people that are being affected by all the things, real people that, by the way, don't read all the things we read, don't read the news really, but they just get glimpses, which is what regular people don't think about politics for more than like a minute a day. And he was compartmentalizing the whole thing in real time. And I was like, well, what do you mean you like what he's doing? And then I was like, the Democrats, stupid me, Democrats are holding strong on the shutdown and this is why and all of that. And guess what? That was out the window days later. But there's a sense with strong men that they build around themselves so that regular people that don't pay attention to what they actually do, all they see is someone that maybe I don't like what they're doing, but I know what he's going to do because when he says something, he does it. And guess what the Democrats are famous for? Saying something or not saying something and then doing the opposite or just not following through with it.
I'm so sick of it.
Like,
And what kills me too is, the SNAP issue itself. If you would have asked people, real people, who never have been on SNAP before, who've never been on any kind of assistance before, you'd have asked them in probably September of this year, maybe half of them would have known what SNAP is. We have educated the masses on what SNAP is and why this is a big deal and why this is a crisis. We were literally winning. That is a winning issue for us. Feeding hungry people, feeding hungry kids. I mean, it should be a winning issue. Like basic human decency should be a winning issue, right? And that story, that messaging had staying power, right? That Donald Trump was literally like, this is not a no thumbs up to this. Donald Trump was literally starving people to get his way, right? But we couldn't even hold on that messaging. Like, and sure, will SNAP benefits of maybe eventually be restored? Sure, temporarily, probably. And yes, is the
Mhm.
state still going to have to do something to have a backup plan? Absolutely, because none of us should trust the federal government at this point
Mhm.
for any reason. But I just don't think there was a strategy in all this. I really, really, because we were talking before we got on and you asked me, well, if there's a strategy, I'm like, there's no strategy. Like, you cannot, from everything I've read, and I read a lot of crap on this, I have not seen one thing that points to a strategy. Again, you were
Mhm.
talking about our senators. Maybe one voted one way, the other one voted the other way. I think that would have probably been more palatable, right? But why flip other than you were probably getting pressure from business in Nevada because tourism
Uh-oh.
is being hurt? So, okay, there's
Wait,
fine.
are you saying the Democrats are reactionary under
Well,
pressure?
they certainly don't have any strategy. So I guess they're reactionary. I love this line. This line killed me too. Schumer's strategy was unsound, and he never really had an end game in mind after all.
Unsound.
Unsound. Here's a
That
list.
is
I love this list. This list is spot on. There are a series of interrelated problems with the party's approach. Now, I want to remind people, we have worked within the apparatus for a very long time. We came out of that, and I've never been happier to be on the outside of that now. But this has been an ongoing problem with the Democrats for a very long time. This is not new. This is just getting worse, right? And it's being amplified because at the moment we need the Democrats the most, they're shitting the bed. So this list is Democrats are essentially a leaderless party with various political dynasties having been discredited or moved on from. Schumer himself is extremely unpopular. Schumer was so laser focused on avoiding the blame for the shutdown that he failed to articulate a positive case for why it was important to shut down the government for health care or other reasons. He wasn't playing to win so much as to not lose, and he still lost. I'll just add that in. Other Democrats weren't all that consistent on the healthcare message either. Again, we always have healthcare, or we always have messaging problems within our party. Democrats' approach to the shutdown was all about tactics as opposed to strategy. How many times have we talked about this? How many times, Maria? It's always about how are we going to win the next election? How are we going to turn out young people? What are we going to do to make sure we keep control? It's never about the strategy of like, how do we win on this issue of healthcare? Because they don't
yeah.
care about healthcare. They don't care about anything other than winning their next reelection. That's the only fucking thing they care about at this point.
And this is where Democrats really fuck shit up because that's what they want. They want re-election. They don't want results if I am elected, right? Like they will say I will get you results, but their actual goal is that re-election. People will say, "Oh, it costs so much and I got to look at this and I got to look at that." I'm sorry, but deeply unlikable, terrible and I don't mean you have to become terrible. I just mean you have to be authentic and results delivering. Because guess what? Regular people who do not give a shit see people I don't trust, people that have no spine, people that I may hate certain things about them and what they do, but at least I know they do things.
Just honestly, I saw some comments where people were like, well, this is putting party or politics over party or putting, the US over party. And I'm like, is it though?
Is
I
it?
fundamentally don't think those people understand like what's about to happen because now this has occurred, right? Like
Yeah, the Republicans are celebrating.
when your insurance premiums go up, both on the
Hmm.
ACA and your private insurance premiums go up. I had our friend Matthew Wilkie posted the other day. His private insurance plan went up 50%. 50. When your private insurance starts skyrocketing because these insurance providers are now completely unchecked and they know they're
Hmm.
unchecked. They know they've got a friend in the White House. They know the Democrats aren't going to do anything to check them. They have no power to do so.
Mhm.
What are you going to do? Don't come whine to me. Don't sit here and tell me it's, party over or politics over party or whatever nonsense you're spewing. The
Yep.
Dems had a chance to hold strong and they didn't. They blew it.
Yeah. You blew it. That's what you did. You had a chance. Yeah. No. Actually winning on both issues, actually protecting SNAP for long term, protecting the states to be able to actually address SNAP gaps, and coming out and saying, no, you're not going to fuck with healthcare. That's a winning strategy. That's what people want you to do. Giving up and saying, okay, sure. No. See, what that is, what the country over party, that's spin. That's the Democrats spinning, caving in. And it's disgusting and it's tiring.
I'm so over it. I'm so over the
Mhm.
whole thing. I'm so over, having to be the ones for so long who defended them, right? Who got down in the trenches and was like, well, think about the long term. Think about, we're playing the long game, blah, blah, blah. All the bullshit spin people used to tell us that we would have to do. And I'm like, are we playing the long game? Do we
Are we?
really care? Do we really care about these issues, or are we just trying to win? Because at the end of the day, were things better under Joe Biden? Yes. Was I afraid that I was going to be nuked in the night? Not as much. But were they that much better under Joe Biden? Ish. We still had all of these internal civil wars brewing within the Democratic Party. They've been brewing for years. And they will continue to fester as long as the Democrats are not willing to reckon with the fact that we need younger people in our party to lead it. We need better people to lead it. And we need Democrats who will actually hold the line on issues that Americans care about.
Mhm.
And until we do that, we're going to keep repeating this cycle over and over and over again.
Yep. And that's the
The
key.
definition of insanity.
Like last year, what should have happened is a reckoning. Last year, all of the peoples still involved in Democratic politics should have had a collective fucking reckoning.
But
Because
how many
guess
times
what?
did you and I hear the donors aren't giving anymore? Everything's being restructured. Everything's different. The feeling is different now. Blah, 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 blah. I see nothing but the same. You had a young Muslim man win in New York on progressive policies, and you learned nothing from it.
Yep. His was the first campaign after '08 Obama where you felt something. Because people were saying for him the same thing they did for Obama in 2007, 2008, which was
I argue AOC has been in there too, and I'm not a big fan
AOC,
of AOC.
but like on a real national
on a bigger
level.
national scale, yes.
Yeah. And like truly like transforming things where even like people that you wouldn't think would go for a guy that has a funny Muslim name, because that's the added thing, right? Like people were saying, no, he's got a funny name, right? And has like Muslim things. Same thing for Obama, they were saying. But this guy knows how to talk. He knows how to actually have good ideas. Will they work? We will see. But he actually worked his ass off in the campaign. And guess this is something we always told ourselves, at least in my office for the Obama campaign, is you can tell a lot by a candidate by how they operate their campaign and how they operate in the campaign. So even if his ideas may survive or not, at least we'll know who will work really fucking hard.
I'm tired. I'm tired of this game. I'm tired of the same old responses we get when we call them and ask them to do the right thing. And they're like, well, what do you want us to do? Which is the response I got today. I'm tired of hearing the excuses as to why they can't be better on issues. Oh, my district's not very good. That's not my problem. Do better. Do better. I'd rather you vote the right way multiple times and not get reelected than be a half-ass trash dem. That's where I'm at. I'm tired of it. Tired of watching it. So then let's fast forward a few days. Okay. So we're here. We're frustrated. We're venting. We're upset. Our two senators did their thing, did the Dem thing where they feed us shit sandwiches and tell them they taste good. Then I get to go to Carson City, where all my dreams go to die. And now we get to pray, hopefully when this airs, that by Wednesday, the governor has put out a proclamation. And on that proclamation, it says SNAP is going to be dealt with by the Nevada legislature. And we are going to go forth with a SNAP plan because we need to have something in place when this happens again in September 2026, because that's the next time that the funding will come up, right? Because those pinky promises will eventually end. So, does the governor do the right thing? Does he put it on after being at a fundraiser this week with Donald Trump at $5,000 a head in Washington, D.C.? Or does he not? That's really the question that we must answer as we enter this special session later in the week. When I get on a plane to go to Carson City, is it going to be to deal with SNAP, or are we just doing film tax credit? Have the Democrats in the Senate and Assembly held the line and said, no, we're not going to vote on other things until we vote on SNAP? It's the question. So what this says to me, and we can go into special session in a minute under what we're now calling the local lockdown instead of the local lowdown. What this question begs an answer for is, will the Democrats at the state level actually stand up and do something? Because I was at a campaign event today, one of our favorite Democrats, who has gone back on things time and time again for us, who will not be named on this episode, was making all kinds of promises today about what electing this person would mean for Nevadans. And I texted you and I was like, does it really mean that this is going to happen? Because I don't remember when this person was elected to another office that they did much other than go back on what they told us they were going to do. So anyways, will the Dems hold the line in Carson City is now the question. Will they make it and force a vote on SNAP if the governor puts it on the proclamation? Will they force the governor to put it on the proclamation? Or are they just going to give billionaires a tax handout? We have to see.
See, you never know with the Democrats. You never know what you're going to get.
What do you think's going to happen, Maria? Because I've got my own theories. What do you think's going to happen?
With the vibe I'm getting from the party?
Yeah.
At best, a couch penny for SNAP for like a day. At most likely, film tax credits first. People will be like, oh, that's not what we're going to do. You can't blame a woman for thinking that when after 30-something days, the people at the top were like, sure. And then Mike Johnson is like, psych, we're not going to do anything that you wanted out of this.
Listen, it's a horrible part, right? But that's the best part of the whole fucking thing, right? They're like, well, we got a pinky promise from the Republicans that they're gonna work with us. And then Mike Johnson's like, I ain't doing that shit. I ain't holding the vote I ain't fucking doing that.
Nobody spit on it. It wasn't real.
Jake Tapper presses Speaker Johnson on refusal to commit to healthcare vote. He's not the one who made the deal. The Senate made the deal. There's 2 chambers we got to deal with, you idiots. Did nobody think to be like, hey, friends in the House?
Should we call the Democrats in the other chamber to see, this is also what pisses me off, which happens in all the bicameral systems. The chambers act, especially the Senate. Like, you guys are the worst of it because you guys think you're better than everybody because you're the Senate, right? And you don't bother to actually, check with each other. Like, count your, if we do this deal, what will happen in your chamber? Like, what do you as our fellow party think?
I don't think they even care.
Is the other party going to fuck this? No, they don't care. They just want to win the next election.
As we've seen at the Nevada legislature, the 2 chambers, the majority party, the Democrats, aren't even talking to each other, which is what I'm hearing is happening going into special. I could be wrong on that, but we'll see. I don't think I am. Half the time, the 2 chambers are not even talking because they're mad at each other. So the Dems are fighting with the Dems because that's great strategy. I just fucking Speaker Johnson. Yeah, I ain't doing that. Silly.
Who told you that? What, did you ask ChatGPT that? Because no, that's not true.
I don't even know. When I'm at a loss on all of this, I just don't even have words for this nonsense.
Nope, same.
I guess I'm not disappointed because I'm also not surprised, right? I would be more surprised if they did the right thing, if they held the line. I would be more surprised if Dems took a hard position, right, and stood by it. I'd have way more respect for them if that's what they did.
Yeah. Yes.
When I'm out here, agreeing with certain people I don't like.
So
All
now
right,
you
let's talk
fucked
about
up.
specials. Yeah.
Yeah, what's gonna happen up there?
Oh, Maria, I don't even want to think about it. It just feels awful. Everything just feels awful. Now I got to get on a plane and go deal with these guys. Where the hell did my outline? Oh, there it is. I'm like, where did it go? I don't even know where my stuff went on my computer. Okay, special session. So, for those who are on special session watch, which I know a few of you are at this point, we are on special session watch officially. So, let's talk about special session. A lot going on this week. So, special session is looming for all of those who are on special session watch. Yes, I assume, specifically for our friend Jonathan, who's been asking me, I assume special session's going to happen while I'm at BravoCon, because why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't I have to be miserable? So, long story short, we are hearing that there will be a proclamation sometime this week. Some people say Wednesday, some people say Thursday. I've heard both. Some people will say if the proclamation is on Wednesday, then the legislators will go into session on Thursday. Some people say if there's a proclamation on Thursday, then we'll go in on Friday, work through the weekend. You and I both know how that usually goes. They just hole up and do nothing. Apparently, we're supposed to have committees. They're supposed to be breaking up into committees, multiple committees, because there's going to be multiple bills. At this point, rumor on the street, and again, I haven't confirmed this with any legislators, but word on the street from other lobbyists is that there could be up to 9 or 10 bills during special, which means that's a whole lot of issues to get through. I've heard stuff for Northern Nevada housing, Southern Nevada housing. I've heard the crime bill. I've heard the healthcare bill. God willing, those two bills are clean bills and not have a bunch of stuff tacked on. I've heard tax stuff could be opened up. I've heard film tax credits. I've heard cybersecurity. I heard cybersecurity today, which Lord knows we need to deal with cybersecurity, dear Lord. But yeah, heard a lot of shit over the past few days, and should be a wild time. Can't wait. But I go back to, and if you're watching this on Wednesday and we still don't have a proclamation from the governor, I need all of you to do me a favor. Call the governor's office and tell them you want them to act on snap and that you would like it to see this on the proclamation. And we'll post this early enough on Wednesday because this call to action is actually important. Call Governor Lombardo and let him know you would like to see snap dealt with at the state of Nevada and actually have a resolution. So when things go south again, we have a resolution in our state. So what questions do you have about special?
None at this point because I have no expectations.
Nick was like, so you think you'll be home by Thanksgiving?
Or-
Should I take my
We'll
dog?
see.
Should I not take my dog? I don't know.
Oh boy. Sounds like a whole lot of fun.
It's supposed to snow next week. I do know that, Carson. So you get to go do that. I don't even know. There's so many different, varying rumors, varying theories, varying things in the works. I don't even know what to think. All I know is, and I already know what's going to happen, and I'm going to be irritated the entire time. BravoCon's going to start on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be sitting there with my laptop, halfway paying attention to Teresa Giudice throwing a fit at somebody, and I'm just going to be irritated because the ND Ledge cannot let me enjoy my life.
Yeah, that's what it's made for.
Every time. Every freaking time.
Good job, Nevada.
So for those wondering, I will be at special session. If you want updates, you can text me, you can call me, you can put it in the chat. Next week, we will do our episode, assuming I'm still in Carson City, from Carson City. I will be there relaying all the nonsense that is happening in Carson City. Let's talk a little bit about our dear friends at the Clark County Education Association, because they made an endorsement this week, Maria, of Governor Lombardo. Speaking of Governor Lombardo. But you want to take this one? Because I know you feel all kinds of ways. I mean, there's a whole history there. There's a whole history there, but
yeah,
keep it to the high points.
Listen, that organization, I don't want to call them a union because they're led by a union buster. Their statement really pissed me off mostly because of their wording and how they made it seem like Lombardo earned their support. Bullshit. We all know it's been cooked. We all know you have been basically a Republican entity for forever. I mean, I was about to go down a downward spiral, but literally no. He didn't earn anything, and this was cooked and part of the book since that guy wanted to run for governor in the first place.
Let's talk about the fact that their leader, who is a union buster, proven that is a thing that happened, not once, multiple times, has argued in favor of the voucher system, which is
Mhm.
privatization of public education.
Mhm.
And Lombardo, one of his like stump speech things he talks about is vouchers. It's the
Mhm.
privatization of our public schools. How, as a union that supposedly advocates for educators in our public school system, how does one stretch to endorsing someone who is pro privatization, pro vouchers? Because I don't. You do that math for our viewers.
So it is literally because they are led by a man who cares nothing for the members and the teachers and protecting their jobs. I mean, they barely give them health insurance. And possibly this man is lining his pockets with their money. It's power and greed. That's the math. It's power and greed. Yeah. Yeah, it's power and greed.
It's
I
so
don't care.
frustrating. I just in our Lord's year of 2025,
Mm-hmm.
it is puzzling to me to watch a union who purports to advocate for educators in the Clark County School District only endorse somebody like Joe Lombardo. I was very perplexed by the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say it's disappointing, but it's pretty on brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. Literally, since that man has been around, their whole aim is to go against whatever the state teachers union, the real state teachers union, works on. And while we're at it, make friends with people who are against every single one of our interests. Weird. It's almost like he worked in another state's unions and was found to be a union buster there. Like he's a snake.
Yeah, I like I said, I wasn't necessarily disappointed. I also was not shocked by any of it. It's very frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about some good news because this has been a real frustratingly disgusting, irritating episode. Let's talk about our friends in the LGBTQ plus community because they had a win today. One single win in just a heaping,
Something
steaming
good.
pile of shit. So the Supreme Court refused to take up the lingering case of marriage equality because
Kim Davis lost.
again,
Sucks to
as one
suck,
of my
Kim.
as one of my favorite people on the internet said, maybe she should focus on moisturizing and brushing her hair. And I was like, oh, that's
Right.
true.
That's what you should do.
God. So great job, LGBTQ plus community. Keep on fighting. Obviously, the fights are not over, especially for our trans family specifically. But marriage equality is still a thing, so that's good.
We gotta celebrate the little
I gotta
things we
celebrate the
can.
little things, right? The little stuff I can.
Little joys.
Good job. Now go protect
It
your
was this
trans
close.
family. Every day I wake up and I'm like, oh God, what's coming? God, don't. God. All right. Let's talk about all of the shit that I don't even know how to like frame it at this point. There's just so much. Every week there's just so much we could talk about, right? There's so many crazy ass things that I read headlines that are just insane. I mean, the world. We haven't even gotten to the world yet. We haven't gotten to the fact that Trump this morning pardoned all of the fake electors, including the ones in Nevada.
Mm-hmm. That's
Rudy
how bad things
Giuliani.
are.
Rudy
That's how bad
Giuliani was pardoned today.
Hmm.
We haven't even talked about the Supreme Court is going to decide whether states can count late arriving mail ballots. That would be a huge blow to Nevada's election system. Haven't even talked about that because we've been too busy talking about other things. It's crazy. Third highest gas prices in the United States in Vegas. Donald Trump said all my prices were going down. What the hell happened? Is he lying? Can't believe he'd lie about something.
Mm-hmm.
So the Dems are over here squabbling over couch pennies. We're like, oh, what little wins can we, pile up like little acorns?
May have some more, Fox
Meanwhile,
and friends.
Donald Trump's always like, I don't give a fuck. Pardons. I don't give a fuck. Name that stadium after me. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. Take
Ballroom.
away mail voting stuff. And we're over here like, let me get my little
I need
tuppence.
to be reelected to come. We don't even know if there's going to be a democracy.
Right! I
Talk
don't
about.
even know if there's gonna be a fucking election. What are we doing? What are we doing? He's over here
usual.
saying, yeah, none of Biden pardons count. None of them count. Auto pay, none of them count. But I'm gonna literally pardon criminals. I read that, what's her name? Epstein asshole. That Epstein asshole. What's her
Oh,
name?
yeah, that girl.
Maxwell,
Yeah.
Clean, whatever her
Maxwell.
fucking name is. Rapist du jour. I heard she was waiting around with bated breath in her jail cell waiting to see if she was going to be on the pardons list today. So you know that motherfucker promised her something.
Uh-huh.
Which, by the way, we have not forgotten the Epstein list. So I just want to put that out there, Donald Trump. We
It's
have
just
not
there's a
forgotten
lot
that.
of people. There's a lot.
A lot of things going on.
Yeah.
But he's over here pardoning people because the Dems can't multitask. We're just over here like, what's happening? Let's make a deal. Pinky promise they're going to vote on health care, everyone.
Did you hear? The Republicans said they're going to do something for us.
They're going to work with us, Maria. Mike Johnson.
Johnson's like,
literally, he's just like this. He's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Dubbies.
life in the U.S. in 2025.
The Lord's year. All right, let's go to hot takes and headaches, shall we? I've got one.
You go.
My hot take for the week. My favorite moment this past week. And there's been a few like standout moments that have really like given me a little bit of life, a little bit of hope. But Donald Trump was at the Washington Commanders game over the weekend reading some nonsense. I don't even know what the fuck he was reading. Say your name here. I was like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you look like a fucking idiot, as per usual. And there's this picture of this dude just double fingering it as they're like, raise your right hand. And I was like, and the dude did it. And I was just like, oh God.
American hero.
All the booing, all of the middle fingers. There was a woman jumping up and down with both fingers in the air. And I was like, those are patriots.
Those people
Those are my people. Those are my people. That's who I want fighting for me.
That's who I want in the Senate.
Double fingers.
That's right, double
That's my hot take
fingers
for the week.
2026.
That's going to be my campaign sign if I ever decide delusionally to run for office.
Why not? Why not?
Listen, we're on this fast track to idiocracy anyways. Who cares?
So why not? Yeah, just
soon we're all going to be drinking Brondo. None of us are going to know what water is. We're just going to be eating buckets of chicken at the fucking IKEA. Because that's what it reminds me of every time I go into IKEA, that like long Costco aisle that they have. Whatever.
It's our life in 2025.
It's not even a slow decline anymore. Nick and I were talking about this.
No, it's a rapid.
I'm like,
we have how many years left?
We're on the fast track to hell now.
We got 3 years left.
I still think we all died during 2020 and literally we're in the ninth circle of hell. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. There's no way things could be deteriorating this rapidly. When I am cheering for asteroids, I'm like, oh man, come on, asteroid. Hit me. Hit me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, 100%.
When I'm jealous of the sun getting hit by an asteroid, I'm like, damn.
Darn.
Could have been me. Could have been me. What's your hot take or headache this week, Maria?
Other than my hot take,
the usual.
My hot take is Puerto Rico is not a garbage island, and I had the best medical visit ever. So extra not garbage, because literally had the best, and I mean the best doctor's visit. I've never had a doctor when I've gone in for anything related to this, right? Cold, flu, viral symptoms, actually like try to figure out what's like. I was getting my head tapped and pressurized and pressed to see what sinus is the one acting up. Now I know it was my right one, and it matched with my ear and what he saw with my ear. I was like, never had an American doctor do that. It's crazy.
Imagine that.
Yeah. I was actually caring and thoughtful, like actually texted me the other day saying, I hope you're doing well. It's like, it's so lovely. It's not a garbage island.
Puerto Rico is the fucking best. I love Puerto Rico. Oh, God, it's so amazing. Laura Deitch moved to Spain this week, and I was just like, God damn.
Oh,
jelly. Every day is torture. My real hope is when Nick and I come back through customs,
they're like, you're not allowed in?
Not allowed in. I'll be like,
good job. Great.
Shucks.
Fantastic.
Oh,
shucks.
I'm so disappointed. Let me go find somewhere else to be.
I'm not allowed back here.
Send me my dog, okay?
Yeah, I'll come with her.
Oh, that's true. Just come meet me, okay? We'll take care of it.
Yeah.
We'll go from there.
Yeah. We're gonna ride with her and Chulo and the Queen.
God. All right. Well, it's been another interesting
Fun
episode.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good time.
Did we get any responses last week from our episode asking about or go running through the comments of
No,
we
but
don't
I
love
will.
Walmart?
I was too busy being sick, but guess what, everyone? If there are comments, we will read them next week. So
put them in the
you got
chat,
hot
everyone.
takes.
If you got hot takes, put them in the chat. We want to hear from
Put
you.
them in the chat. We'll read them, even if we
Maybe
hate them.
watch
We'll read them.
the whole episode and we'll read them. We know Steve Sebelius watched.
Steve Sebelius, give us your hot takes.
Hashtag #1 fan, Steve Sebelius. So
That's
all right, everyone. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe, do the thing, share it with your family, share it with your friends, call the governor of Nevada. And we'll be back with you next week from Carson City. Well, I'll be from Carson City. Maria won't be trapped with me, but she'll be trapped with me for an hour. So we'll be back next week live from Carson City in the special session. Can't wait for everyone. Can't wait for it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a safe
We'll
week.
see you next week.
See you soon.